Good morning. Now I am going to explain the theme that is concerning practical linguistics, that is clause sentences and clause function. Let's begin. First of all, we should define what is clause. A clause is a group of words that contains subject and a predicate. Clauses must contain a subject plus predicate, as it is said above. Independent clauses form a complete thought, while dependent clauses do not form a complete thought. As it's mentioned, there are two types of clauses in English. They are independent clauses and dependent clauses. Let's see some main differences with the sentences here. There are two types of clause. Independent clause, as we may call it main clause as well, and dependent clause, that is subordinate clause. A main clause contains a subject and a predicate which can stand alone and expresses a complete thought. Example, he went to library. As you can see, this sentence expresses a complete thought. While dependent clause, that is, we may call it subordinate clause as well, contains a subject and a predicate, but they cannot stand alone and doesn't express a complete thought. It has to depend on the main clause to give a complete meaning. Let's continue with the next one. Let's continue with the example as well. As Harry is fond of reading, he went to library. In this sentence, the dependent clause is attached to the main clause to give a complete, meaningful sentence. Let's try to find what is dependent clause here. As Harry is fond of reading is dependent clause, and it is attached to the main clause, that is, he went to library. Next example, second example. When I saw an elephant, I started running. I'll give you half a minute to think which one is dependent and which one is main clause. Then we will analyze together. Okay, let's do it together. When I saw an elephant is dependent clause. I started running is independent clause. Here is the explanation of the sentence that is given above. I started running is independent clause which has a subject and a predicate and can stand alone and expresses a complete thought. When I saw elephant is dependent clause which has a subject and a predicate but cannot stand alone and do not express a complete thought. It has to depend on independent clause to give a complete, meaningful sentence. In order to understand what is dependent clause, you have to know subordinating conjunctions well. Okay, conjunctions which link together a main and a subordinate clause are called subordinating conjunctions. There are many subordinating conjunctions, including although, despite, unless, as, if, whereas, because, since, while, before, though, so that, and others. Let's do a practice with you. Here are some examples is given. Write each clause below on your paper or your answer sheet. Identify by putting DC, that is dependent clause for dependent clause, and IC for independent one. Circle any subordinate conjunctions that begin a dependent clause in order to strengthen the same that is connected with subordinating conjunctions. Okay, the first one is, unless my friend invites me. Okay, what kind of clause is it, do you think? Right? And circle the subordinating conjunction if it has. Second one, leave the phone on the table. Third, before I make the decorations. Fourth, can I make some cookies? Fifth, whichever movie you prefer. And the sixth one, although the bell rang for class. Okay, let's analyze together then. First one is dependent clause unless is subordinating conjunction. Second one, independent clause that has complete thought. Third one, dependent clause before is subordinating conjunction. Fourth, independent clause. Fifth, dependent clause, whichever is subordinating conjunction. And the last one, dependent clause, also is subordinating conjunction. Okay, you may conclude how many correct answers you have. Okay, let's conclude with independent and dependent clause. Then we will move to the sentence types. Independent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. It makes sense on its own as a sentence. For example, Jane ate pasta. Sam went to the park. And dependent clause is a group of words that contains subject and a verb. And it doesn't make sense on its own as a sentence. For example, because she was hungry after she finished school. Okay, let's move to the next one. The continuation of our same is sentence types. Okay, as you know, there are 4 types of sentences in English. The first one is simple sentence. Second one, compound sentence. Then complex sentences. For the fourth one is complex and compound sentence. The first one, the simple sentence contains a subject and a predicate and expresses a complete thought. For example, the boys went to the park. We like pizza. The tip, a simple sentence is also called an independent clause. The second type, compound sentences, contains 2 or more independent clauses. Clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction. The boys went to the park, but they didn't go to the zoo. We like pizza and we like spaghetti. Tip, look for these conjunctions: for, and, nor, but, or, yet. Complex sentences, the third type, contains an independent clause and a dependent clause. Dependent clause begins with a subordinating conjunction, as we stated above. Because the boys went to the park, they didn't go to the zoo. The boys didn't go to the zoo because they went to the park. And tip for this type is look for the subordinating conjunction and try to learn them by heart. After, before, because, although, when, since, if, whenever, unless, while, so, that, even though, wherever. The task will be to learn the coordinating and subordinating conjunctions and try to make up sentences with them and identify which type of sentence is it. Okay, here is the some sentences, 8 sentences is given to you, and is it visible? And your task will be to find which one is simple or compound sentence. But there is some mentioned here as well. The first one, I would go with you, but I'm tired and just want to go to bed. This one is compound sentence and is connected with but. He listened in class, but he didn't take part in the class discussions. So it's also compound sentence. My mom sets the alarm and wakes me up in the morning. It's simple sentence. Fourth one, my family owned a farm and they used to raise livestock. It is compound sentence and it is connected with and subordinating conjunction. The horse trotted and soon broke into a gallop. It is simple sentence. A bird covered his face and his eyes were bloodshot. It is simple sentence. The seventh, I caught a tiny trout and we headed for supper. It is compound sentence. The last one is, as she didn't like me, she even said so. It is compound sentence. Okay, for today's that's all. Today we have learned about clauses, its sentences, its types, and their function in the sentence. With you, ABDURAXMONOVA M M as a teacher of Foreign Language Department. Thank you. Dear audience, I wanted to add some addition and suggestion to my presentation. There were some questions connected with the types of sentences. I would like to mention that you shouldn't confuse with the types of sentence structure. Here you can see that there are 4 types of English sentences classified by their purpose. These 4 types are by the sentence purpose. The first one is declarative sentence. It is a statement. Interrogative sentence. This is the question. When we ask question, it will be interrogative sentence. An imperative sentence. Command. It impresses. And exclamative sentences. And it expresses exclamation. Let's continue deeply with this structure. Okay, declarative sentences depicts the statement. For example, it tells us something or about something. For example, John likes Mary, and at the end we will put period or full stop. Second one, interrogative sentence. It asks us something. And at the end of these type of sentences, we put question mark. Does Mary like John? And question mark. The third one, imperative sentences. It tells us to do something. For example, stop. Close the door. Okay, after that we will put exclamation mark or period. Exclamative sentences express surprise. What a funny story she told us. Exclamation mark. Here are some mini quiz for you. Let's read it and define. Which sentence type is the most common, do you think? You may mark it on your answer sheet, your answer, so at the end we will check together with you. Second one, who came to the party? Which type